This is the video for Algebra 2B, Part 16, Task 4, Activity 1. So let's recall from Task 2 that mutually exclusive events can't happen at the same time. And the probability of the union of two mutually exclusive events is found by adding the individual probabilities. So the probability of A union B for mutually exclusive events is simply the probability of A plus the probability of B. So that's what we learned in Task 2. Well, now we're going to do some more unions. But these probabilities are different because these events are not mutually exclusive. Okay? Not mutually exclusive means that the two events, they can happen at the same time. And so if we add the probabilities together, because they can happen at the same time, there will be some outcomes that are in both events. And so we're counting those events twice. We're duplicating some of those outcomes. We don't want to do that. So the addition rule for probability, so the probability of a union of not mutually exclusive events, we still want to do some addition. We still want to add the probability of A plus the probability of B, but because these two events can happen at the same time, we have to subtract where they overlap. We have to subtract those events, the probability of those events that could happen in both events. So we're going to subtract the probability of A intersect B, or the probability of A and B. Again, this last probability is our overlap. Okay? So let's look at an example. In a class of 100 students, 54 have brown eyes, 51 have black hair, and 37 of those students have both brown eyes and black hair. What is the probability that a randomly selected student will have brown eyes or black hair? Okay. So the probability of, I'm going to say BE for brown eyes, union or black hair. I'm going to do BH for black hair. Now, the problem tells us that there's some overlap. There are 37 of these students who have both brown eyes and black hair. So those 37 students are counted both in this 54 and in this 51. And so we have some overlap. And so we calculate the probability of choosing a student with brown eyes. So 54 out of 100. Plus the probability of choosing a student with black hair. So 51 out of 100 total students. Minus the overlap. And the overlap are these 37 students. So minus 37 over 100. So if we add the numerators, 54 plus 51 minus 37 gives us 68. And because we're adding common denominators, the denominator stays the same. This does reduce. Both numbers are divisible by 4, so we can divide 100 by 4 and get 25. Divide 68 by 4 and you get 17. So the probability that we select a random student with brown eyes or black hair is 17 out of 25. Now a notation question, if the probability of A is 0.64 and the probability of B is 0.45 and the probability of A intersect B or A and B is 0.21, what is the probability of A or B? Or A union B? We're going to take 0.64 for probability of A plus 0.45 for the probability of B. minus that overlap, minus that intersection. And if we use our calculator, 0.64 plus 0.45 minus 0.21, you would get 0.88. And that concludes this video. Give the practice problems and activity 2 a shot.